Yeah, y'all gonna stop coming in my live talking about this Victor dude, bro. We hooping this year. Y'all gonna see.
Hi team, today we're tuning into the Kevin O'Connor Show, NBA Power Rankings, where all 30 teams stand at the All-Star break. And in this video, he mentions the Spurs lineup issues, which we've all been talking about. So today we're just going to take a look at this video, and then I'm going to show y'all some advanced analytics, some lineup stats. Big shout out to Kevin O'Connor. He has some pretty good content, so if you haven't seen it, go check him out. A link to this video is going to be in the description, but with that being said, let's just jump straight into it.
The something's missing teams here. These are the teams where, like, maybe they make a run, maybe they win a round or two, but they're not going to make the finals. They're definitely not going to win the finals. That starts us off with 14, the San Antonio Spurs. You got De'Aaron Fox.
14 is actually pretty generous considering the Spurs' last 10 games. If you look at their record, I'm not sure what it is. They probably have like 2 wins in their last 10 games or something like that. And a majority of that is on the coaching, in my opinion. If we had competent lineups or we had Chris Paul coming off the bench, I think the record would be a little bit better.
Him and Victor Wembanyama can win you a series. Stephon Castle is having some really big games, but the Spurs don't have enough wings. They don't have a backup five, and their lineups make no freaking sense at all. Why is Chris Paul still starting? I've yet to hear a good reason besides, oh, he's the veteran. They probably promised him to start. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Now you have De'Aaron Fox, and you have Stephon Castle, who's significantly outplaying him. So why is Paul still starting? And even if he is starting, why is he playing more minutes next to Fox and Wemby than Castle is? So he's played 77 minutes with Fox and Wemby to only 28 minutes for Castle with Fox and Wemby. How is that? It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't help in the short term because Castle's better than Paul right now. And it doesn't help in the long term because you're trying to get your core pieces to get time together. I just don't get it. It's stupid. It's short-sighted. And it honestly pisses me off. It pisses me off watching the Spurs. It just makes zero sense.
Yo, he's crashing out right now, man. Reasonable crash out, in my opinion. Like, these are my exact feelings.
Makes zero sense. For short term, long term, no matter how you want to look at it, the only way it makes sense is making Chris Paul happy that he doesn't have to come off the bench, which is dumb. I'd rather cut him than deal with that. It just doesn't make any sense. Number 13, the Phoenix.
See, he's exactly right, man. Look, I doubt Chris Paul is refusing to come off the bench. I don't think Mitch Johnson has even asked Chris Paul to come off the bench. Maybe he told him after All-Star break, best case scenario, but I don't think Mitch has asked Chris Paul. If Chris Paul's refusing, like Kevin O'Connor said, you gotta cut him or trade him, do something. You look at any other, well, it's past the trade deadline. You look at any other team in the NBA, where is Chris Paul starting? That's not the Washington Wizards or something. It made sense for him to start before we had De'Aaron Fox, but the Fox trade kind of signaled a new era in Spurs basketball. So I definitely agree with this take. Why are you starting Chris Paul still? I don't know. Hopefully after All-Star break it will be changed, but I just don't know with Mitch Johnson. In his post-game interview from last night or whenever they played the Celtics, they asked about Bismack Biyombo playing backup center, and he said basically because the Celtics are shooting so many threes, they're going for long rebounds, and they don't really need the backup center because they're not getting bullied in the paint. In games prior, they were getting bullied in the paint. I can understand what he's saying about the Celtics shooting threes so you have longer misses or whatever. The reason we are not getting these long rebounds is because they're trying to community rebound. So when the Celtics are shooting a bunch of threes, everyone's crashing in the paint. Nobody is sticking to their man because they have to community rebound. If you put a big man down there, I guarantee they're going to grab more rebounds regardless if their missed threes are by the rim. And hey, I'm not an NBA coach. These are just my thoughts. But I just feel like you need a backup center. And you got to put Chris Paul on the bench. So take a look at this lineup right here. I know the Spurs are big in analytics, but this lineup doesn't even have a positive net rating. I don't know what the Spurs or Mitch Johnson could be looking at to make this lineup so appealing. The Spurs' 2 best perimeter defenders, they don't have one of their best perimeter defenders in this lineup. You gotta have Sohan or Castle, one of the two. Preferably, I'd rather have Castle right now, but why is Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes eating up the young players' minutes for a lineup that, in my opinion, is just very mid? Look at this lineup right here. This should be the Spurs starting lineup. I know the shooting is kind of sus with Sohan and Castle. Castle's been lighting it up as of recent, but even if the shooting isn't the best, you gotta put this lineup in for more than 2 minutes. Why does this lineup only have 2 minutes? The defensive potential on this lineup is insane. De'Aaron Fox, solid defender, gets a lot of steals. Devin Vassell, he's alright. Sohan, one of the best defenders on the team. Castle, probably your best perimeter defender. And Victor Wembanyama, the anchor, the best defensive anchor in the league. The defensive potential on this lineup is insane, and you're only giving it 2 minutes. And even if you look at the offense, you have De'Aaron Fox. Devin Vassell could be the third option. He's really been in a slump. Sohan, he's the connector. Castle has shown flashes, and then you have the alien who could do everything on the court. Like, this lineup, it just makes no sense why the Spurs aren't running this lineup. There's really nothing else for me to say other than that. As for the backup center situation, you look at the advanced stats, and although we don't have a big man, this lineup says it's pretty good. And so I think this is why Mitch has been reluctant to play the backup center. They're definitely looking at this. The net rating of plus 19, assist to turnover ratio of 7.5, a 71 assist percentage, and the analytics can be misleading at sometimes. I know it looks good on paper. Maybe the Spurs have been playing good basketball with this backup lineup, but I honestly don't care. I just want a backup big man out there. I'm tired of seeing Sohan at the center position. I want to see him at his regular position. Remember in October or November, whenever he was playing his original position, how good the Green Monster looked? We need that Sohan back. I think him going from point guard to center, not having a consistent role on the team, always having to do something else, can affect a player's confidence, and it's just annoying. I can only imagine how Sohan feels, so I want to get some more consistency for him, so we need this backup big man ASAP. So looking at these lineups, man, y'all let me know what y'all think. What should be the starting lineup? What should be the backup lineup? This should be the starting lineup right here. Fox, Vassell, Sohan, Castle, and Wemby. You have Chris Paul, Champagnie, Harrison Barnes off the bench with Charles Bassey or maybe even Bismack Biyombo. I don't know if he's coming back, but let me know what y'all think. Other than that, y'all be sure to catch the Rising Star game today at around 8 p.m. I don't know what time it is, but y'all be sure to check that out. I'll catch y'all later. Until then, I'm out.